Okay, friends, good morning. I want to continue this talk on mindfulness of breathing, Anapanasati sutta. Last week we started with the first section. The first section is called mindfulness of body. And I want you to look at the slide again. The discourse says one who goes to a solitary, quiet place and breathe mindful. That means this is important to remember. We should not let the mind wander here and there, and mindfully breathe in. The Pali word satova asasati. Satova asasati. Breathe with mindfulness. And while breathing with mindfulness, then only we can notice the long inhaling as long inhaling without saying, although it is mentioned here, I breathe in long. Do not say, I breathe in long. Just pay mindful attention. Replace I breathe in long with paying attention to long inhaling as long inhaling. Long exhaling as long exhaling. Without saying I. There are 8 places where I is mentioned. In this meditation, we want to eliminate I, because I is the obstacle, a problem. We don't want to dwell upon I. Therefore, we replace I with mindfulness or awareness. With awareness, breathe long, breathe in long. With awareness, breathe out long. And breathe out long. Breathe in short. With awareness, breathe in short. It happens naturally. We do not make the breath short. See, the translation says, he understands. Understand doesn't need I. Understand is just understanding. When the breath is short, understanding that it is short, breathe in short. When the out breath is short, with the understanding one, breathe out short. See, understanding. Then he trains thus experience in the whole body. With that awareness, with that mindfulness, without letting the mindfulness drift away, we experience the whole body. And experience the whole body, one breathe in, and experience in the whole body, one breathe out. And then, when the breath becomes tranquil, noticing that tranquility of the breath, one breathe in and notice the tranquility of breath. Breathe out. Now let us go to the next slide to understand how this happens. Okay. There are 8 kinds of knowledge obstacles to our practice. While we are paying attention, if you use the word I, then these obstacles will obstruct, actually 10 obstacles. 10 obstacles. Once we have overcome these 10 obstacles, then we have to become aware of the 8 kinds of knowledge, which I didn't have time to translate. I bring it in Pali, but you can look at the Pali words. 10 kinds of obstacles. What are they? Dwelling place. Avasa means dwelling place. That means if the dwelling place has various things to do, when you sit to meditate, your mind will go to those things to do. I have not finished such and such things. I have not cleaned my bathroom. I have not cleaned my bedroom. I have not done my laundry. I had to do some repair in the wall or roof or plumbing and so forth and so on. These things should be put out of your mind temporarily, avasa. And then next is kulang. You see kulang here. Kula means families. Families, family obligations, family errands, family visits, family responsibilities of relatives in the family. And we have to take care of them or temporarily put them away out of our mind. Then labha means gaining various things in business, in relationship, and so forth. We expect of gaining something. Labha. Gana means the people, meetings. We think of attending such and such a meeting, family meeting, community meeting, school meeting, political meeting, and so forth and so on. Put them out of your mind. Then kamma. Kamma means workshop, working, your office work, social work, and various type of work. There are 5 of them. Avasa, kula, labha, gana, kammanta. Dwelling place, families, gaining, meetings, and works. Panchamang means 5th. These 5, and there are another 5, abadham. Of course, this is very difficult thing. When one is sick, meditating is difficult. You all know when you are sick, paying attention to your breath, gaining concentration, and so forth, noticing various stages of breathing would be very, very difficult because your mind goes to the sickness. And therefore, when you are sick, wait until you get well to do the meditation. When you are sick, meditation becomes very difficult. Jnati means relatives, various obligations to first one is Adhana. First one is this, in this line, first one Adhana. Adhana means traveling. Traveling. If you have various places to visit, and if your mind will go there planning the trip, airplanes and hotel arrangements and so forth and so on, and even walking to some places. Then Jnati means relatives. Then Abhada means sickness. Abhada. Then Ganto. Ganta means studying. When you have to read certain things, even if it is a Dhamma book or secular books, school work, college work, university work, and so forth and so on, reading, learning, memorizing, writing, and so forth. All these come under Ganta. Then Iddhi. If somebody, I have mentioned in my mindfulness in plain English also, Iddhi means supernatural powers. Many meditators think that as soon as they start meditation, they can fly in the air. Actually, this is very interesting. Recently, there was somebody here, and that person said one day some kind of supernatural being took that person away and put in an apartment for 4 months. And I expressed my doubt about that statement, but that person said to me several times, "Yes, Bhante, you don't believe it, this really happened." But if you believe in those things and try to meditate, your practice will become very, very, very difficult. And therefore suspend all of them to the end of your meditation, not at the beginning. Don't think that you can fly in the air as soon as you sit to meditate. You can sink in the ground with sleepiness, not fly in the air. And therefore, all these things are called impediments or obstacles to your meditation. And then there are 8 kinds of knowledge of obstacles. In addition to these obstacles, there are other 8 kinds of knowledge which are really genuine. In Pali called Atta Paripante Jnanani. What are they? Vyapada. No, Kama Chanda. The first one is Kama Chanda. Kama Chanda means one of the 5 hindrances. Desire, greed, desire for the things that you have seen before, things you have heard before, smelled before, tasted before, and touched before, will come to your memory as a memory. The people, places, animals, sceneries, and so forth that you have seen, and various kinds of talks and sounds and music and songs and so forth. All kinds of things you have seen, and smell and taste and so forth. Or you are thinking of future, of seeing things, hearing things, smelling things, tasting, touching, and so forth in the future. Soon after meditation, you want to see, hear, smell, taste, touch, various things. And this becomes an obstacle. And therefore, as I mentioned earlier, sato vasasati, sato pasasati. Breathe in mindfully, breathe out mindfully. Don't let these things enter your mind. Focus. This is a very difficult thing to do. Either you fall asleep or you will have this kind of things. And therefore, samadhi is a paripanto. For gaining concentration, this is an obstacle. Then second is vyapada, meaning anger or hatred, resentment. This is another. Many meditators, as soon as they sit to meditate, remember some kind of things that somebody has done to them, and then anger arises. There are various reasons for anger to arise. Either somebody hurt you, somebody hurt your relatives, somebody supported your enemy, and when you remember these things, you get angry. And that is an obstacle, samadhisya paripanto. This is number 2. Number 3, tina middang. Tina middang, as we all know, is sleepiness and drowsiness. That is very difficult thing to overcome, especially when everything is going on very smoothly. There will be mind is calm, quiet, peaceful, you fall asleep. And don't try to cheat yourself saying that you have attained jhanas. You don't attain jhanas like that. You have to train the mind in a very, very special way, very diligently, mindfully, to gain concentration. Therefore, sleepiness don't try to associate with concentration. It is not concentration. So that is an impediment. Tina middang samadhisya paripanto. Then uddhacca gukkuccam. Samadhisya paripanto. Uddhacca means just the opposite of sleepiness and drowsiness. We have to overcome that in order to gain concentration. That is another obstacle. Then doubt, vichikiccha. Doubt about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, your own practice, and the doubt about the instructions and instructor, and about all these things you may have doubt. Friends, we are learning the Buddha's teaching, which has so pure, clean, pure in the beginning, pure in the middle, pure in the end, and therefore that is a very wonderful teaching. So we should not have any doubt about it. Then there is another obstacle. These 5 are called 5 hindrances. Greed, anger, sleepiness and drowsiness, restlessness and worry, and doubt. These are called 5 hindrances. There are 3 more. Avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance of the system itself, ignorance of, really avidya means ignorance of Four Noble Truth. And ignorance is impermanence, ignorance of unsatisfactoriness, ignorance of selflessness, and so forth. All this called avidya, ignorance. Samadhi is paripanto. Then arati samadhi. So arati means discontentment. Discontentment. Just like nothing can please a person. That is, even when you come to meditation, it doesn't appeal to you that particular moment, that particular day, that particular time. And that is an obstacle to practice. Then, in addition to all this, sabbepi akusala dhamma, all unwholesome mental states, jealousy, fear, anxiety, tension, and all these are obstacles. They all are unwholesome mental states. Now, these are to be avoided by all means. Whenever they arise, we immediately switch on to our mindfulness. Mindfulness. From the very beginning, we have to train the mind to be mindful in this way. Then, there are 8 kinds of knowledge of aids. 8 kinds of aids of knowledge of aids. They are called Atta Upakari Jnanani. What are they? Nekkammang. Nekkamma means letting go. Nekkamma sankappa. Letting go. See this word nekkamma here in the slide, nekkamma. Nekkamma is aid, ekattam. It's a aids, kinds of aids, support for gaining concentration. That means greed has to be abandoned, let go of it. Nekkamma. The moment you think of clinging to anything, you will have obstacle. The moment you let it go, you have a support to your practice. It needs support. Then abhyapado. Abhyapado means not getting upset, angry. Practicing metta. Practicing metta. Practicing metta, friends, is a wonderful aid, support to gaining concentration, because there is no scruple of anger in your mind when you sit to meditate. When you have anger, it definitely disturbs your mind. When you have metta, loving friendliness for all living beings, without any exception. This is a mental state, mental state that you can cultivate within yourself to make your mind calm, relaxed and peaceful. And that is a help for gaining concentration, ekattam. Then for sleepiness and drowsiness, I think I mentioned this earlier in some other talks, aloka sanya. Aloka means light, very bright light. Whenever you have sleepiness and drowsiness, visualize, imagine a very bright light. That helps to gain concentration. Then, for restlessness and worry, avikhepa. Avikhepa means not disturbance. That means bringing mind to one simple, very pure, clean object and focus the mind on it mindfully. That is avikhepa. Vikhepa means scattering, like throwing a rock into heap of dust. When you throw a stone to a heap of dust, it stirs all the dust and spread all over. And when you pour little water into the dust will settle down and it will not scatter. Similarly, when you bring your mind to the calmness like water, paying attention to your breath, breath is a very calm, peaceful object which doesn't belong to anybody but it is there. We pay attention to the breath that you breathe in and out. Then doubt. For doubt, we have Dhamma Vavattanam. That means looking at Dhamma analytically. It is called in Bojjhanga, we will discuss this later, as Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjhanga. Analyzing the Dhamma, any little Dhamma you know. For instance, you remember your feelings. Feeling is a part of Dhamma. Dhamma means mind object. It's very difficult to translate in one word. But you can use a feeling, when you have feeling, various type of feeling, pain, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, and so forth, with desire, without desire, and so forth. You analyze. This feeling arises depending on contact. Eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, mind contact. Because of this contact, feeling arises. When feeling arises, desire arises, and so forth. We begin to examine the Dhamma analytically, then our doubt about anything will slowly fade away. So then, jnanam ekatta. Jnana means wisdom, knowledge. What is the knowledge? We mentioned earlier, avidya is opposite of knowledge, wisdom. Avidya is ignorance, jnana means wisdom. So, knowledge of what? Knowledge of rising, coming to the peak and passing away. Rising moment, coming to the peak moment and passing away moment. Seeing these three stages of existing things is called jnana. It has been Pali called udayattagamini panya. Knowledge of rising and knowledge of falling is called udayattagamini panya. That becomes an aid or support of concentration, this knowledge. Then avidya, then pamojjam. Pamojja means tranquility. We learned earlier in the other slide, avidya, arati. Arati we learn. Discontentment. Opposite of discontentment is joy, pamojja. When the joy arises, it makes the mind calm, relaxed and peaceful. Remember, this joy is not ordinary joy, mundane joy. This is called niramisa piti. Niramisa piti means spiritual joy. When spiritual joy arises, body and mind become calm and relaxed. And that helps for gaining concentration. Then finally, sabbepi kusala dhamma, all wholesome mental states help us to gain concentration. And therefore we must remember these aids and obstacle. First we learn obstacle, then aids. So let me spend a few more minutes on the this part of our talk, mindfulness of breathing, which all of which I did not put into a slides. When the mindfulness of breathing is both developed and perfected, mindfulness of breathing, it remains quite settled in his body. It remains quite settled in his mind and remains quite steady in his body, remains quite steady in his mind. Then we have to remember we came to a stage where our sabbakaya, I want to spend that little time on with difficulties we came to learn to pay attention to breath. I said sating avijahitva, without abandoning mindfulness, sating avijahanto in Pali. All the time we keep the mindfulness intact. And then there are 32 kinds of experience of mindfulness. 32 kinds of experience of mindfulness. What are they? In Pali, bhattingsaya akare sato kari hoti. You may not know it very casually, just offhand, until you pay mindful attention to every stage of breathing. You don't know these 32 kinds of what you call knowledge. 32 kinds of experience of mindfulness. What are they? When you breathe long, paying complete, total attention, and mind will not be disturbed, then mindfulness will establish. This is called establishment of mindfulness. With that mindfulness and that knowledge, you pay attention to mindfulness again. While breathing in, you are totally immersed with inhaling breath. That is your total awareness. That awareness becomes your knowledge. While breathing out, you are totally immersed with exhaling. With that exhaling, you breathe out. Then, similarly, you have 16 stages. I mentioned there are 4 groups of 4. They are called 4 tetrads. Each 4 has 8 pairs. Each 4 has 8 individual stages. Like I show you one for you to remember. Let us take one. Now here, in this slide you can see, breathing long in, you understand breathing long in. Breathing long out, you understand breathing long out. There are 2, and these 2 are a pair. Then breathing short, you understand, you breathe short. Breathing short out, you understand breathing short. That is another pair. So altogether there are 4. Then you train yourself experiencing whole body of breath, and you train yourself, you breathe out experiencing whole breath body. Then that is another pair. That is altogether in 6 individual practice. Then training thus, I shall breathe in tranquilizing the body, I breathe out tranquilizing the body. So tranquilizing inhaling, tranquilizing exhaling. There are 2. So there are 8 individual stages of breathing in this first section. Similarly, second section 8, third section 8, fourth section 8, altogether there are 32 sections, individuals. And these 32 individuals are called 32 kinds of knowledge of inhaling and exhaling. Then also I mentioned the other day, Sabbakaya Patisangvedi, knowing the entire body. In Pali it is very clearly stated, Assasakayasa Sabbakaya, Assasakayasa Adi Majja Paryosanang, Viditang Karonto, Pakatang Karonto, Asasistan Miti Pajanati. That means when we inhale, we become aware. Remember, we are becoming aware, not I. We become aware of the beginning, middle, and end of inhaling. Beginning is the rims of your nostrils, middle is your lung area, end is your lower abdomen. When you exhale, beginning is lower abdomen, middle is chest area, end is nostrils, inhaling and exhaling. When all these put together is called Sabbakaya, complete breathing. So, this is called knowing the entire breath body. So the inhaling, all this becomes clear. Exhaling, all these 3 stages become clear. And then, when you know the entire breath body, like this, the mind is not going out, mind is completely focused on the breath. And yet, sometimes some people become aware of the beginning, they are not aware of the middle or end. And some people become aware of the middle and not aware of the beginning or end. Some people become aware of the end, not the beginning and middle. And therefore, in order to have full knowledge of entire breath body, one must become aware of the beginning, middle and end of each inhaling and each exhaling. So you have to remain awake, you have to remain mindful, you have to pay total attention to the breath in order to know these three phases, three stages and 32 parts of breathing. And then, as you breathe in and out like this, paying total attention, your breath becomes subtler and subtler and subtler. And then finally you come to a stage where the breath becomes tranquil. I mentioned this earlier. Meaning very, very calm, relaxed and peaceful. That means ola rigakaya sankarang, that means gross inhaling and exhaling becomes subtler and subtler and subtler inhaling and exhaling. I think I mentioned the other day also that when you ring a gong, we can experience it every day. When we end our meditation, we ring the gong or ring our bell, or at lunchtime also we ring the gong. Just imagine that you have a bell, big bell. When you strike the bell, at first the sound is very, very strong and gross. And if you really mindfully pay attention, don't interrupt your attention. Don't without interrupting your awareness. You mindfully, with full awareness, paying total attention. If you wait, you can see the first gross sound of the bell slowly fades away until it disappears from our sound, as the sound waves slowly disappear, then we cannot hear it anymore. At that time, the sound is gone. Similarly, when we pay attention to our breath, the gross part of the breath becomes slowly, slowly subtler and subtler and subtler, and then you gain what you call tranquility. And therefore, until we gain this tranquility, remain fully aware, mindful, pay attention, don't let the mind fall into any of those obstacles, and stay on the breath. As I mentioned, when as the mindfulness builds up in meditation, all obstacles fade away, all wholesome mental states arise, you gain concentration. This is called Anapanasati Samadhi. Anapanasati Samadhi. That means mindfulness of breathing concentration. That is, concentration arises from mindfulness of breathing. And also insight arises from mindfulness of breathing. Therefore, this is subject for both tranquility meditation and insight meditation. So, next week we continue this with the rest of the thing. Maybe, as Buddha said, this is called, I say that this is certain body among the bodies, namely inbreathing and outbreathing. That is why on that occasion a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body as a body, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. So that is why on that occasion bhikkhu abides contemplating the body. He is ardent, meaning with the determination to overcome defilements, fully aware, mindful, having put away covetousness, that is greedy eye for others' property, covetousness, and grief in the world. World here means one's own body and mind. Put together is called world. Grief arises in the world, in this world. Covetousness arises in this world. And mindfulness and awareness, ardent, arises in this mind and body. And this is the translation of mindfulness of breathing meditation. So I think this may be enough for today's talk, and we continue next week, and tomorrow you can ask me questions. Now let us begin our meditation. Where is meditation? Listen. All right. Okay. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this, we keep practicing until we ring the bell. Could you get me a little hot water from there's a cup here. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear-struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arise in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. With this aspiration, we want to end this meditation session. And also, as I share our metta with all living beings, let us do that. May all those who are suffering in hospitals, in many places in the world, taken care of by doctors, nurses and hospital staffs, recover very soon, return to their normal life, continue their Dhamma practice. As I mentioned, when people are sick, it is difficult, we all experience this, difficult to practice even meditation. Therefore, may they all be free from their sickness and practice meditation and liberate from samsaric suffering. May all the doctors, nurses and hospital staffs who are so compassionately helping these people to recover, may they continue their wonderful, marvelous work that they do at the risk of their own health, sacrificing their comfort. May they continue their wonderful service and remain healthy to continue their Dhamma practice and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all those who have lost their loved ones and were grieving, may they be free from grief, as we just mentioned in our aspiration. May they be free from grief and continue their Dhamma practice and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May those who are supporting various projects to help people, may they continue their marvelous, generous support, and they too practice Dhamma and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. All those who are in various places suffering from wars, starvation, discriminations, and so forth in all over the world, may they be free from those states and liberate themselves from suffering. May all those whose category is mentioned or not, may they all be well, happy and peaceful, and attain total liberation from samsaric suffering. Thank you for attending and encouraging us to give this Dhamma talk. Thank you.
Everyone,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Everyone,
Bhante.
Sanai
Everyone,
Bhante.
sir, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you so much.